Shopper conversion is most greatly impacted by your frontline staff. And during the course of the pandemic, it was impossible to schedule your staff properly based on the kinds of traffic that was coming in the store, if you had any traffic at all. And as for customer experience scores, those were completely out the window as well. When COVID hit, retailing as we know it changed forever. My name is Mark Risky, and over the course of this 9-part series, we're going to explore the impact the pandemic has had on brick-and-mortar store traffic and shopper conversion. In today's lesson, we're going to focus on staff scheduling, because in a word, staff scheduling became nothing short of a nightmare. Now, it turns out that the hygiene and safety protocols that were put in place by the CDC were very effective at slowing the spread of the virus. But unfortunately, it made for a terrible shopping experience and brutally difficult for retailers to schedule their most precious resource, which is their store labor. And as for customer experience scores, there weren't many happy customer experiences. And so retailers that continue to try to measure whether customers were happy or sad, I think were wasting their time and effort. The store experience became one of survival. If you could get into the store and merely get out with what you came for, that was as good as it was going to get. That was a terrific shopping experience. Shoppers were exasperated, kind of like this little guy. But you should see what his parents look like. And how do you think it was for the store staff that had to serve these customers? But you know what? Store experience in and of itself wasn't the biggest problem. The far bigger problem and the conversion killer was stockouts. You know, think about it. People that made their way to the store only to find empty shelves when they got there. It's tragic and perverse. You have the traffic, but you just can't convert it. And so there were a lot of lessons that retailers learned about staffing and customer experience, and here were the key takeaways. Number one, staff scheduling was and will continue to be a nightmare when pandemics like this occur. You know, workforce management systems, as sophisticated as they are, if they're being fed transaction counts to determine how to schedule, are going to be ineffectual. And number two, customer experience scores aren't going to mean a whole lot. So retailers should really think hard about the investments they're making in those kinds of capture systems and maybe redeploy those funds in other areas that they need during the pandemic. Join us for our next lesson, where we talk about selling skills and how selling took a complete back seat as new tasks dominated what store staff had to focus on.